Hi, I'm Erica Yoakum, co-host of 3Q New Mexico's business and nonprofit podcast. Today we're going to be chatting with Pam Meyers, our host of 3Q. I know what the podcast name is. 5 minutes. Geez, owner of Pam Meyers Social Media and Two Flower Productions. So we had folks reach out to us and say, "How come y'all never talk about your own businesses?" And so we thought this would be a fun way to remedy that, to let y'all know what we're doing. So Pam has like this really wild, great background of all this cool stuff that she's done. I've seen it firsthand, and all the event planning and all these really cool things. And then you're in New Mexico and you get into social media, which is like crazy land in and of itself, and trying to stay on top of trends and who's talking about what and all that. How just how?
Yeah. Wow. Funny question. So thank you for asking that, actually. I think, anytime you're running a business, and I've always been self-employed the majority of my life, whether it was really the longest running one was as an event designer in Dallas for 27 years.
Wow.
And so you have to know what you're doing for a marketing aspect. And that was a big learning curve. I learned a lot over those years. And so then when I moved to New Mexico, it was like, well, market's not the same here. I'm not going to do the same thing. So I took some time off to figure out what I was going to do. And I was having a conversation. I was having my hair done. And the guy that was doing my hair at the time was also a marketer previously. He was into marketing and social media, and said, well, why don't you do that? Because that's kind of your forte.
Interesting.
And you're really good at what you're good at it. So and I said, oh, well, yeah, duh. Why don't I do that? That's a great idea. Yeah. And because I was wanting to, after being self-employed for all those years, I didn't want to have to do something where I punched a clock. At first I thought I did, and then I did it for a couple of months and said, oh yeah, no, this is not for me.
I don't know about you, but I think I'm permanently unemployable at this point, right?
Oh yeah, right.
I can't even imagine like going back into a cubicle and having to
Oh hell
people
no.
all day,
Right.
right?
No.
Like
And somebody telling you like you have to ask permission to do something? Oh, I'm sorry. No, I can't do that. Sorry. Yeah, no.
yeah,
That was in another
wild,
world.
right? I mean,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah. Yep, totally get it. Totally respect people that do, but I've just too many years to your point, when you spend all your time, when you spend the majority of your career being self-employed, you're just unemployable. Pretty much, right? From somebody else.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
why
yeah.
we work right, why we also work well together, and we're good at what we do. All right.
True, because you do
So that's
get
how I
as an entrepreneur, yeah, you definitely get so you get really
yeah,
good at doing things like to keep your business afloat and that type of thing. But you and I,
right, right.
in my VA world and in your social media world, we realize that lots of entrepreneurs, they're really, really good at their thing, but all the stuff
Yes.
around that thing to run the business is stuff that you hand off to a VA or you hand off to a social media manager because, like I was saying, social media is no,
It's a
I never
beast.
wanted to
Right.
touch it. I've always told people,
Mhm.
even as a VA, I was told people, I can teach you how to set up the account and I can give you the basics and the theories behind social media, but the actual day to day, like what's going to catch people's eye, how to watch those trends, all that kind of stuff. No, thank you. No, I leave
Right,
it to
right.
pros like you because
Yeah.
it takes a certain skill. Like I have a really huge personality and I don't speak in any voice but my own. So, like being able to write for somebody else's social media, it's going to sound like
Uh,
Erica. things and doing photos. So that's not a
Yeah.
skill that I
Uh,
have,
yeah.
writing for other
No.
people,
Right, right.
right?
Yes, and it's
So
yeah, I get it. Yeah. On the other hand, to your point, and then I'm glad that you brought this up because as a soulpreneur or an entrepreneur, whatever you want to call yourself, you cannot effectively run your business yourself. You can't do it and grow, or you're going to be
right,
if you try to, you're going to stay this size forever,
or
because
go
it's
insane,
just
one of the 2,
or
yeah.
go insane, right? So yeah, I couldn't get through a week. I mean, I used to think, oh, what could I use Erica for? She's such a brilliant VA, and then once we had the conversation about how you could help support me in my business, I mean, it was like, how, why did I never make this decision 100 years ago? I don't know, because I should have, because it was great. So, yeah, and so and it's to me speaking in somebody else's voice is easy. I mean, I love I love to write, and it's fun to do that. It's like
That's a
it's your
brilliant talent,
storytelling.
that
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm,
right? That
mhm, mhm,
not a lot of people have, so
mhm,
that's,
mhm.
yeah, kudos to
Yeah.
you for that, because that's
Well, kudos to you because I don't do the technical side of it, right? Anybody that and I that's funny because people ask me all the time. They assume that because I do what I do that I am really techie. I'm like, no, no, yeah, that's not me. I'm don't know tech from an acorn. That's Erica.
So, how
Oops.
do you stay abreast of everything that you need to
Just
do to make sure that your clients are, getting in front of the right eyeballs and all of that? How do you stay on top of all that?
you know what I it's really it's really comes down to basic marketing. Um, really basic marketing, like where are your clients? Where's your demographic and where are they going to find you? That's your starting point. And sure, you can there's all these other platforms, all these other tools out there. You can do all these hoojamajiggies and fancy sparkly stuff. The average person shopping does not want to see that. They want it clean, direct, and easy. And they're looking on a couple of platforms. If they're looking for a job or they're looking for employees, they're going to be looking on LinkedIn. Sometimes the professionals are on LinkedIn looking for certain things. Other than that, it's on Facebook and Instagram. And why TikTok is really good, it's only good for some things. And people can be very successful, but it's a lot of hard work and time and money to be on TikTok. I don't take none of my clients are on TikTok because number one, nobody it wouldn't be beneficial enough for them to
Right.
make the investment to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
remember
And
telling people that in saying, sure, there's all these platforms, but you have to know where your people are. Otherwise,
right,
you're screaming into the void, right? Like,
right, right,
if your people are all on Facebook and you're all doing all you and then you're over here talking on LinkedIn,
mhm.
it's we only
You're
have this much time in the day to get
exactly.
all this stuff done. You have to really like laser focus in. Where are your people? Like you said, marketing. Where are your people and what are they?
Right.
And we've all gotten such short, reels. It started with
Oh,
Vine,
yeah.
and you're right,
Uh-huh.
6 seconds. And it's we've gotten to the point now, it's like we're all sitting there going, come on, you know.
Yep. Finish it up right. Right, if it's too long, you just disconnect.
And do you
Yeah.
get the question? I get this question of boy, can you make this go viral? And and I've said, and you can tell me if I'm wrong. I've said if I could figure out, me personally, how to
Right,
make something go viral,
right.
I wouldn't be talking to you.
No,
I would be sitting on my
exactly.
pile of gold
Yep,
like
yep,
Smaug, and
yeah,
I would rule the world because
right.
there's it's so arbitrary. Like what goes
Right.
viral, you just never know, right? I
No,
mean, am I
there's
wrong? Or
right, right. No, there's no secret sauce. You're absolutely right. There's no secret sauce. It is, it is like sometimes, quite often, it's like throwing mud at a window, right? And
Mhm.
if what sticks, then you go, oh, okay, that worked, and let's do some more of that kind of thing. I mean, you with today's marketplace, it's a toughie, and you just don't know, and you have to gamble, and you just have to do as much as you possibly can and be as many places. It's that same old, again, the marketing 101. The more people see you, the more brand identification you're going to achieve, and the more success you will have. And so people have to see and hear you in multiple places, and
Yeah.
hear about you. I mean, it's not brain science, really.
Well, but it's also like, we hear about these movie stars who are like overnight successes, and then
Uh,
you find out, no, they've been acting since they were kids. They
right,
just got found. And I think
right,
being viral is kind of like that too. It's like usually it's not somebody who's never been, who's never been on the internet before suddenly goes viral. It's somebody who's been working hard and then suddenly something hits and
right,
they
right.
go viral. So it's about having that work, putting the work in. So
Hmm.
again, like you said, and especially I found in New Mexico, the know, like, trust, buy cycle in New Mexico is very slow, just like
Yes.
everything's manana here, right? So it took a long time for people to to let, because I was an outsider. I mean, I
Hmm.
moved here in 2008. So in 2009, I started a business and I got very lucky. I got into the right places and I met a lot of people and like you and
Hmm.
that type of stuff. But that cycle is slow, but you have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. You have to keep
You
doing it.
do. Yeah.
And it might not be overnight, but it'll be real success when it happens.
Exactly. Exactly. To your point, we are just at a point with this podcast where now guests are signing up without having to do as much outreach as we've had to do, as I've been doing since we launched it in 2020,
2020?
in
Yeah.
March of
2 and a half,
2020.
5,
Right,
yeah,
right.
5 years.
And
Wow.
right, right. Yep, during the right. Yeah. And for those that may not be aware, so we launched um Three Essential Questions podcast on March of 2020 during the pandemic, when we saw a need to keep business voices alive because everything was closed down, right?
Mhm.
And then it's been so successful. We now have over 6,000 subscribers in the state of New Mexico, and it's very exciting to see how much it's grown. It's really very
Yeah, it's
exciting.
cool. It's cool when you hear people say, "Yeah, I listened to your show and blah, blah, blah." It's like, "Really? Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
that's cool."
yeah, 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 yeah.
I'm
So
gonna switch
I
gears a
want,
little bit, and can I ask you about lip service and talk about that podcast too? Because you do a lot of
yes,
things, but can we
thank
can we
you.
throw lip service in here too?
Yes, thank you for asking that, Erica. So I'm excited that Two Flower Productions is the production company that produces Lip Service, a podcast of our coming out stories, which has subscribers in 42 countries around globally. And over 10,000 subscribers. And and then Three Essential Questions podcast. So I produce, right, Three Essential Questions with you, and then I do lip service on my own. But Two Flower Productions is now the nonprofit, um, to help, um, because the both podcasts come from an educational lens to help
Right.
people, right, learn about businesses in the state of New Mexico, learn about the nonprofits, and then learn about what people in the LGBTQ plus community go through, what their struggles are in coming out, what life is like for them, and that kind of thing. And um, I started that, and it had always been a dream of mine to write a book. And then one day I thought, oh, I should make a podcast out of it. And so I did that on Valentine's Day of 22. And we've grown a lot with the goal of just helping people to understand what our community goes through, what my community goes through, and helping those that are still struggling with coming out to know that they're not alone out there. So, and to record our stories for history because it's important.
It is very, and that's, yeah, it's really cool to think about with all the hours and hours and hours of podcast, because podcasting has exploded in the years,
Oh, it sure
and
has.
you know,
Yeah.
with audiobooks and podcasts and things like that. But there's so much we're gonna be able to look back and hear so many voices. That's actually kind of cool. It's one of the, you know, when we go back in history, there are very few voices, and they were usually rich white dudes who were
Right.
writing the history that we actually heard those voices because they could afford it. To
Right.
they could literally,
Exactly.
I mean, literally, they could afford to hire somebody because the technology was so new and so expensive that we didn't see a lot of. But now it's like everybody, anybody can do this and get their voice heard and out and be on a
Right.
podcast
Right.
and share their story. It's brilliant. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for being my co-host and background support team
The
because I
cheerleader,
couldn't
go
do it
Pam!
without you. Yeah, my
Yeah.
cheerleader. Absolutely all of it. Yeah. Yeah. And really thank everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast and for supporting this podcast. We wouldn't be here without your participation and without your support.
So, yes, thank you everybody for listening, and thank you for the suggestion of us talking about our businesses, because
Yeah.
that's definitely, it's like, you know, the car mechanic whose car doesn't run,
Right.
the house painter's house needs painting. We never, you know, we don't think like it was really a shock to go, oh, us,
Really?
okay, yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
Well, that's a
really,
good idea.
us. So this has been great, and I highly recommend Pam as a social media manager. I've seen her work, and it's brilliant, and again, the
Thank you.
talent. It's a whole different skill set that I do not have, and I would bet that most small businesses, solopreneurs, and entrepreneurs do not have, is the ability to track all of this and write and do and then go do their thing and, you know, all that. So yeah. Oh, how, you know what?
Yeah.
We need to put your big long ass URL up here of pammyersocialmedia.com,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
folks can go, and
Yeah.
what are they going to find there?
Well, they'll find information and links to both the podcasts there and information about social media and the services that I provide.
And
So
there's
yeah,
samples, videos, and
samples, videos.
referrals,
Yep.
and
Mm-hmm.
all kinds
Yep.
of really cool stuff.
All fun. Yep. All fun stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Erica, for making this.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being our guest today, and,
Yeah.
yeah, please keep listening. Please keep, signing up to be on the show, and
Yeah.
we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, everybody.